guys, today's recipe is shrimp and sausage gumbo. We're coming at you again with another Louisiana recipe. I'm going to show you all how we make it. Alright, so here we go. So what you're going to need is shrimp. We're using fresh large shrimp, sausage, okra, then of course we're going to use bell pepper and onion. And then the protein we're using also is chicken thighs for this recipe, and we're also using dried shrimp, and then we're also using minced garlic, and then we're going to use Tony Chachere's roux mix. This is really good, y'all. And then we're also going to use Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning, some really good products. And we're also going to use gumbo filet. If you haven't tried it, you have to. It's a key ingredient to this recipe. Alright, so we're going to start off by seasoning up our chicken thighs. We're using chicken thighs because they're moist, they don't get too dry. Really good for gumbo. You can also use chicken legs or something like that. But chicken thighs, boneless, skinless chicken thighs is what we're going to use for this recipe. So we're just going to season them up real nicely with the Creole seasoning. Make sure that you season them well so that you just, so they're really nice and flavorful for the gumbo. Alright, so go ahead and mix all the seasoning around, and then we're ready to add them to the pan. So chicken thighs, you don't need any oil or anything in the bottom of the pan. Just lay them in your pan and they're good to go, and they shouldn't stick. Alright, so we're going to let them cook on that side. We'll let them get really nice and brown, and then go ahead and flip them over to the other side. So they don't have to be like super dark, but you want to make sure that the chicken is done even before you add it into the gumbo. So we're going to cook the chicken thoroughly, and then we're going to go ahead and remove it from the pan and cut it up. Let it cool first, and then we're going to cut it and set it to the side. Alright, but for now we're going to go ahead and start on our sausage. Just go ahead and add your sausage to the pan, spread it evenly so it can cook as evenly as possible. Mine didn't, so I have to work with it. But put your sausage in the pan, and we're going to brown that on each side as well. I don't brown my sausage too dark. I just like to have a little bit brown, and then get that grease going so I can go ahead and block some of that out of there before adding it to the gumbo, because you don't want that extra oil if you don't have to. Some people use andouille sausage. I like to use smoked sausage. Either or is great for this recipe. So, try both, or try whatever your preference is. Okay, so the sausage is starting to brown. I just keep flipping it, and then some of it's getting ready to come off, as you can see here. And then I'm going to take all of it off. Once I have all of the sausage out of the pan, then go ahead and take the paper towel and blot your excess grease. Just like that. Set that to the side. Alright, and now we're going to go ahead and work on our chicken. So just take a nice heavy knife, cut your chicken into strips, and then I cut the chicken all the way across in strips, and then go ahead and cut the chicken halfway in strips just for smaller pieces. Alright, and you set that to the side. We're going to get ready to saute our vegetables. Add your oil to the pot, and then we're going to add our onion and our bell pepper, and we're going to let that go ahead and saute together till it starts to get like a little bit brown. It doesn't have to just be brown when it starts to get a little brown. And add your mixed garlic to the pot. You don't want to cook it too long because it will burn, so no more than a minute or so. You can see it's starting to cook up a little bit here, so it's time to add the roux. I know it looks a little weird. It's like a grayish type color, but it actually turns brown once you add the water and mix it together. I know it's a little different, but it's real good. And it's a really quick way to make roux, especially for anyone who hasn't made a roux before. It can be a little tricky starting off. So as you can see, it's nice and brown. Alright, just like regular roux. Alright, so then we're going to go ahead and add our chicken. And then we're going to add our sausage, and we're going to let that roux get nice and flavorful. But first we're going to add more water, because this roux will get a little bit thick. So add more water and mix everything together, and then go ahead and put the top on it and allow it to simmer. Alright, so we let everything simmer for about 15-20 minutes. We're going to give it a good stir, and then we're going to get ready to add our okra. Alright, so pour your okra right into the pot. Frozen is fine. Just pour your okra into the pot, and stir that together. And then we're gonna go ahead and add extra seasoning at this point since we added our okra. All right, so we're gonna add our Creole seasoning, and then we're gonna also add our gumbo filet. We're gonna mix that together again, and we're gonna let everything simmer together for about 15-20 minutes again, and then we'll add our shrimp, add our whole shrimp there, and we're gonna add our dried shrimp. Look at these little bitty shrimp. It's just for extra flavor. These can be an acquired taste, but they really give a nice good flavor to your gumbo. Now you want to allow the shrimp to cook for about 15 minutes. All right, so we let everything simmer together, and we're about good to go. You can go ahead and taste it here, see if you need extra seasoning. You can add a little bit more Cajun seasoning. Sometimes you only need gumbo filet. It gives it that nice gumbo flavor. You just have to have had gumbo to know what I'm talking about. All right, so we're ready to plate, y'all. So of course we have rice. You can eat this with rice, you can eat it with crackers, you can eat it with rice and crackers. I've done both. All right, so just pour that nice gumbo over your rice, and then I'm gonna put a little extra gravy on top. And that's it. It's really easy to make gumbo, especially with the Tony Chachere's roux seasoning. It makes it so simple. So as always, we hope that you enjoyed this recipe. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and we'll definitely catch you next time.